You know that one really stubborn knot in your shoulder? The one that just never seems to go away no matter what you do? Well, today we're going to unravel the hidden story behind that knot. And it's a story that doesn't start in your muscle at all. It actually starts in your mind and takes a wild ride through your body's own chemistry.
So let me just ask you this. What if that physical pain is actually the very last domino to fall in a super long and complicated chain reaction? What if it's the physical proof of a journey that connects your thoughts, a really crucial mineral, and an energy crisis that's happening deep inside your cells? Okay, let's get into it.
All right, first things first. Let's get on the same page about what that knot in your shoulder actually is. We all know what it feels like, right? But what's really going on in there?
So the sciencey name for it is a myofascial trigger point. But the phrase I want you to focus on is contraction knots. See, this isn't your entire muscle clenching up. It's actually a whole bunch of microscopic little bits of muscle fibers that are literally locked up. They're stuck in a shortened state. They just can't relax. And that inability to relax, that's the key clue to this whole mystery.
Now to figure out why that muscle fiber is locked, we have to rewind the tape. We got to leave the muscle behind for a minute and go all the way back to the beginning of the chain reaction. Good old psychological stress.
And this is so important to get. Your body's stress response, it's not a bug, it's a feature. It's not a weakness, it's an incredibly powerful survival tool. Just like the quote says, these are normal reactions to abnormal circumstances. Your body is just doing what it was designed to do to keep you safe.
The real issue isn't that first fight or flight response. You know, those immediate reactions in the first column. The trouble starts when stress becomes chronic. Our bodies just aren't built to be on high alert all the time. And when they are, that's when you start to see the effects in that second column. The constant fatigue, the messed up sleep, the anxiety. This is the state where our body's resources start getting seriously drained, which sets the stage for the next part of our story.
And this, my friends, is where we get the big biochemical plot twist. Because that chronic mental stress has a direct physical cost. It starts to suck your body dry of one single, absolutely critical mineral.
Here's how it all goes down. When you're stressed out, your body pumps out stress hormones like cortisol. This hormonal flood makes your cells release magnesium into your bloodstream. Then your kidneys see this sudden spike of magnesium in the blood, and they do their job. They filter it out. The end result? The more stressed you are, the more magnesium you literally flush right out of your body.
Okay, now this is where it gets really interesting. Just look at this. On the left, you've got the common symptoms of stress. On the right, the symptoms of magnesium deficiency. See a pattern here? They're basically the same thing. Fatigue, irritability, muscle tension. It's like a classic case of mistaken identity. What we often chalk up to just being stressed might actually be the warning signs of a magnesium deficiency that was caused by the stress in the first place.
And this kicks off a really dangerous feedback loop, a true vicious circle. Let's walk through it. Step 1, stress makes you lose magnesium. Step 2, having low magnesium actually makes your body more sensitive to stress. It kind of lowers your defenses. So, step 3, your body's reaction to the next stressful thing is even bigger, which leads to step 4, you lose even more magnesium. The cycle just keeps feeding itself, getting worse with every turn.
So now we've got a body that is totally overstressed and running low on magnesium. Let's take a look at how this perfect storm creates that actual physical knot you feel in your shoulder.
There's this brilliant idea called the Cinderella hypothesis that explains why it's always our neck and shoulders. Think about sitting at a desk all day. You're not lifting heavy weights, but you're holding your muscles in this state of constant, low-level tension for hours on end. Well, this hypothesis says the smallest muscle fibers get recruited first for those jobs, and they never get a break. They're the Cinderellas of the muscle world, forced to work and work and work, which leads to burnout and damage.
And here's exactly how that damage happens. First, those little Cinderella fibers are held tight, thanks to posture and that background hum of stress. Second, that constant tightness squeezes the tiny blood vessels around them, cutting off blood flow and choking off their supply of oxygen and fuel. Third, this causes a full-blown energy crisis. The muscle cells can't get the fuel they need to make ATP, which is their energy money, and that leads directly to the final stage, the knot.
And this is the most important part. It's a total paradox. We think of relaxation as just stopping, right? As a passive thing. But on a cellular level, relaxing is an active process. For a muscle fiber to let go of a contraction, it needs a little molecule of energy, ATP, to come in and basically unlock it. No energy, no unlock. The energy crisis has literally trapped that muscle fiber in a tiny prison.
Okay, so let's zoom all the way back out and put every single piece of this incredible puzzle together. We've gone from a simple thought all the way to a very real physical pain.
Here it is, the entire domino effect. It all starts with psychological stress. That stress drains your magnesium, which then makes you more sensitive to stress, creating that vicious circle we talked about. This whole state leads to that constant muscle tension in those little Cinderella fibers. That tension creates an energy crisis inside the cells, and because those fibers need energy just to relax, they get stuck. And the final domino that falls, you feel it as that painful, stubborn knot.
So you see, that knot is so much more than just a tight muscle. It's a mind-body story written right into your own tissue. It's the physical proof of a long journey that went from mental strain to a mineral shortage all the way to a microscopic energy failure.
Which really just leaves us with one last big question. If that knot is the final chapter of a really long story, what story is your body trying to tell you right now?